Apple has just finished its peak performance event, where it introduced a new version of the iPhone SE with its latest mobile processor and 5G, a new desktop Mac aimed at creative professionals, and an external monitor that doesn't have a $5,000 starting price, finally. If you're looking for a quick roundup, here are the biggest announcements Apple made in its hour-long presentation. Apple M1 Ultra. Apple announced a new addition to its Apple Silicon lineup, with the M1 Ultra. The TLDR is that it's basically two M1 Max chips put together, supporting up to 128 GB of RAM. Apple says it's 8 times faster than the standard M1 chip. The M1 Ultra will be available in the Mac Studio and likely in the Mac Pro that Apple teased as an upcoming announcement. Speaking of, Apple announces the Mac Studio. The Mac Studio is the latest entry in Apple's Mac lineup. It's basically like a Mac Mini aimed at creative professionals, with tons of I/O. It has at least 4 Thunderbolt ports and an SD card slot on the front, cooling and processing power. The M1 Max version starts at $1,999, and the M1 Ultra version starts at $3,999. Apple's 27-inch 5K Studio display costs $1,599, and it has an iPhone chip inside. The Studio display has a 27-inch, 5 Kelvin screen encased in an aluminum enclosure. The display can reach up to 600 nits of brightness, supports P3 wide color, and works with macOS's True Tone feature. Above the screen is a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera for video conferencing. Apple's first new prosumer monitor in years is available to order now, with shipments starting on March 18th. And it actually comes with a stand. Yes, that $1,599 price point gets you a monitor that can actually stand on its own. Though if you want height adjustment, Apple's upgrade stand option is. Apple's new iPhone SE has 5G and an A15 Bionic CPU. The new iPhone SE brings the advanced features of Apple's newest A15 CPU to a cheaper, smaller package with a price that starts at $429. Apple seemed to downplay Say's new 5G radio and instead focused on the fact that you can get an experience similar to its pricier iPhone 13 devices in the same 4.7-inch package, including Touch ID, when it launches on March 18th. The new iPad Air has an M1 chip inside. A year and a half after its last update, the iPad Air has another new version, but this time, the improvements are mostly internal. Now it's home to an 8-core M1 chip like the iPad Pro, 5G on cellular-equipped models, and a 12-megapixels front-facing camera. iOS 15.4 is coming out next week. You can use Face ID with your mask on, if you've got a newer iPhone, that is. Apple TV Plus announces Friday Night Baseball. Apple's streaming service will feature 2 Major League Baseball games on Friday nights during the regular season. In the US and Canada, there's also a new 24/7 MLB livestream with replays, news, highlights, and analysis, plus on-demand highlights and a new MLB Big Inning live show. Now you can get the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro in green. The iPhone 13 lineup has a new green colorway, while the Pro phones will come in an alpine green. Expect pre-orders starting Friday, availability starting March 18th. The 27-inch iMac is no more. The discontinuation of the 27-inch, Intel-based iMac wasn't explicitly announced on stage, but they've disappeared from Apple's store. It seems like now you have to choose between a studio setup or the M1 iMac with a 24-inch screen. Update March 8, 4:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Added information about the Studio Display's stand, iOS 15.4's release date, and the 27-inch iMac. In this stream, Apple's peak performance event, rumors, news, and announcements. View all 31 stories.